Hey guys, so I had a question in the comments that said, do I feel better now that I've gone down on my dose and I'm not on as much? Absolutely, I do. The biggest change is probably having emotions come back. For me, when I'm on it, it feels as though everything is just like dulled. So the lower you go, you get it comes in waves. You get good feelings, you get bad feelings too. In the morning, particularly, it's hard to explain, but in the morning, you kind of wake up, and the dreams are really vivid, and then for a second you have to realize, oh, I'm awake, and then but as soon as I personally, when I wake up, I remember all the stupid decisions, and it's real easy to get down on yourself and you'd be like, oh, what am I doing? But the way I try to think about it is there was a lot of times where I felt like I was the shit when I, you know what I mean? I was not. So it's like feelings aren't real, they're real. At the end of the day, they're really not. And you have to remember at this time that your brain is completely rewired. Everything's going crazy, and it's not reality. And I just keep telling myself, like, okay, I feel like this, I feel like that, but it doesn't matter. That's not real. Neither was the up, during the time that I was on it. That wasn't real either. So neither, you know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of realizing, okay, I'm all right. You're not gonna it's not gonna hurt you per se, and you're gonna feel better. It's just a matter of time. Sorry, I gotta get like some kind of camera stand or something. So that's that. And somebody else asked me what I was on. It's methadone. Um, I Before I was locked up, I was on house arrest for a year. I could only go to the doctors, and that's it. I think doctors and like maybe the lawyer's office. During that, and work. I'm sorry, I could work. So I would work, come home. That's it. Couldn't go to the grocery store, or the bank, nothing. So it got interesting. And during the end of that, just pressure and everything, and boredom probably too, loneliness, etc., got to me, and it resulted in me using. So when I found out that I was gonna, I basically made a deal for 18 months and 3 years probation, but I had already served damn near a year on house arrest, so they waived that. But anyway, the pressure of that, it had me pretty messed up. So I started using again, and then I was afraid that I'd go to the PO like this, um, I'm gonna get violated, and so I got on methadone, which is the fastest, easiest. Just boom, like one day, pee in a cup, you're in. Um, and then they'll take you up. I mean, they'll take you up to 120 milligrams if you want, which is outrageous. But I mean, I see guys that have been there for 10, 15 years, 120 every day. Me personally, my body can't do it. So somebody said, how are you down to, and by the way, I'm down to 10 milligrams now. Somebody said, how did you get down from 70 to where you're at, with no discomfort? And I mean, it's not like there's no discomfort. Trust me, I don't feel great, but I'm not, it's not Basketball Diaries rolling around on the floor, either, because what I did was I made a plan, and I set this process up, I started going down. To be honest, first I got taken down because they found a benzo in my system. They cut my dose in half, but I didn't even realize it. So they cut my dose in half. Um, And I didn't feel great. I'm like, what's going on? And then I look at my bottle one day and it says 40 milligrams instead of the 70 that I was on. So with that, it's 40, 70. Yeah, okay. So I go down to 40 and they said, well, we'll take you back up. You're clean now from the vent. And I'm like, no, like I've been telling you guys I want to stop since months now. But the thing is, people don't realize that they have the say in that. You don't control when you stop. They control when you stop. Unless you want to do an administrative taper. No, administrative taper is when you get in trouble. Like you just you're not acting right, or you're refusing things. They won't take it. You can pee dirty all you want for something. They just let you do that. But an administrative taper is when you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. So they take you down from whatever you're at to 28 days to 0. Then there's an against medical advice taper, which is 90 days, and you control it for the first 60, the last 30, whatever's left, you're done. Well, I mean, technically, I've kind of almost beat that taper schedule anyway, but you have to, it's a punishment-based system, really, and they do not want you off of their program. So if you're to do against medical advice taper, they are going to where was I going with this? See, foggy. Yeah, okay. So against medical advice taper, you have to go in every day, whereas I get take home, have to go in, take home, have to go in, take home, have to go in. And that's because I lost my take homes because of that benzo. So I don't want to have to go there every day. I just don't. It's right up the street, but it doesn't matter. I don't want to have to do it. So what I'm doing is I'm taking an eyedropper and I'm taking out of my bottle, my take-home bottle, which is still 40, which is enough for 4 days at this point, and I have to do some acrobatics to not drink the 40 when I go in. So it would have been a lot nicer if they would have just tapered me. That would have been great, but I don't want to have to go there every day. I don't have the gas to keep doing that when I'm not working, and I don't want to have to do it, to be honest. I mean, but it's all, it really, you'd have to be in there to know. It's a punishment-based system. You lose your bottle, you lose one bottle, which they're not even real good with that because I got one right here. You lose one bottle, and technically they will tell you got to come in every day for the rest until you find it, or you got to get a police report. It's a whole lot of BS. Anyway, so this is me. Let me see if I can show you this without showing the wild stuff. I don't know if you can see. That says 70 milligrams, and the date is like February 2/17. So as of February 7th, that's not even when I started. I started later than that. So somewhere around, I would say, I'm pretty sure it's March is when I started. They dropped me to 40 without me knowing. Then once I found out I was at 40, I kept dropping. So within, they recommend 2 milligrams a month. You can go way faster than that, obviously, if I'm down to 10 milligrams. If you're not ready, don't do it. But I think that a lot of times people are ready and they won't drop you, and people get frustrated. I know it was the case for me. There were a couple times where in the very beginning when they said, oh, we're not ready to, you got to do 3 more months of this and clean urines. And I was like, well, you know what I mean? I was like, well, if I can't drop, if I'm going to be just on this, why stay clean? But that's my own fucked up mentality, really. I'm very like, oh, you told me to do it, I'm not going to do it. I don't know what that is. I'm sure there's a word for that. If you know, let me know in the comment section. But what was that guy saying? Yeah, so it's opioid, methadone, one of the most, probably the strongest and most long acting, which is why you've got to set aside some time to do this. If you're trying to do it fast like this, set aside some time. You're not going to be top of your game for a while. If you're going to do it slowly, if you can do it 2 milligrams a month, I mean, for me, like I said, there's drug tests involved that I can't be doing this for when I get back to work, and it does not, it makes me feel terrible. So that's that. But for some people it does work. For me, it's not, and this is just me documenting the process and trying to get my life back together during the process. And we'll see where it goes. So far, so good. All right, guys, have a good day.